Hey guys, it's Lady Bo Bannon. It is Wednesday, February the 6th, 2019. I am coming to you from my car in the great state of Texas. Today I'm going to talk to you about some of the things to look out for to determine if you're dealing with a narcissist, or rather someone you suspect to be a narcissist. I'm not a psychiatrist, I'm not a psychologist, I can't diagnose people, but you can use your intelligence and your deduction skills to observe and check off the boxes. So if the person that you're dealing with has all the boxes checked, or the majority of the boxes checked, and they continue to act in the way a narcissist would act, then you can reasonably argue that they just might be a narcissist. And no matter what the label happens to be and what the diagnosis happens to be, the emotional abuse, the psychological abuse that you experience from these people, it makes those people toxic, and you don't need to be around them. So screw a label. I mean, it's important so far as diagnosing is concerned, and knowing for sure what you're dealing with. But if you're being treated bad, you need to go ahead and get out of your situation. I'm sorry there, I had to pull up my bra strap. I need to actually buy some new ones. Okay, anyway, maybe a little TMI, I don't know. Okay, anyway. So, looking over your relationship, your association, your friendship with the individual that you suspect to be a narcissist, do you ever notice that they seem to not have a lot of boundaries or be able to set up boundaries? Because narcissists don't believe in boundaries. They enmesh. They want to integrate. They want to have you merge into them. You become an extension of them. They project their thoughts and feelings and opinions on you. They think you're thinking like them, that you're out to get them, that you don't really have their best interests in mind. And they'll act accordingly off of those false beliefs that they find to be real, because whatever they feel happens to be what is. So anyway, one of the things that I noticed right away about the ex-husband, who I suspect to be a narcissist, is that he didn't seem to have very strong boundaries with his family. For example, his parents would pop up unannounced. They wouldn't call or text, and they at first would just walk into the door. And I think to myself, whoa, what, who just walks into somebody's house, even if you know the person that's there, no matter how long you've been friends with someone, or how long, even if they're family, you just don't walk into their house. When I go visit my parents, I will knock, ring the doorbell, and if I need to get something from the house and they're not there, I ask if I can go over there. I just don't make my way in, even though they gave me a key in the past. That's just not that's just not very respectful. But I would be sitting in my home comfortable, and then I'd have to be prepared to entertain his parents. Now, I did speak to the ex-husband about that, and he agreed, hey, yeah, they really shouldn't be showing up. So he didn't, or I suspect he ended up having a conversation with them, and they started to call ahead a lot more. But there are still times that they would just show up, especially his mom, and it got real annoying really quick, and it got old really fast. So one year I had talked to the ex-husband about starting to have our own traditions at home, maybe not going over to his sister's every Thanksgiving, because since I got with the narcissist, his family stuff overrided anything else that was going on. Now, I would end up seeing my family later on in the day, but it was expected for everyone to have Thanksgiving over at his sister's house or at a family member's house. And during Christmas, on Christmas Eve, we were to go over to his sister's house. Now, once the kids came along, I wanted to stay home. They were young, and I didn't want to travel 45 minutes to an hour to get to the city that his sister lived in. And I didn't want to travel over an hour out into the country to go do something. And I certainly didn't want to feel the pressure of having to go to his family's houses or entertain them and it just be expected. There was really no discussion about what we might be doing. It's just, hey, we expect you all here. So yeah, that sort of attitude passed on to the ex-husband, who never really wanted to have a conversation. And he told me about how his parents be so disappointed, and I get that. There's lots of people who are close to their families and they have traditions that they can continue well into adulthood. However, when you get with someone else, you start a family, I do believe that there should be some time spent with your family, and there can be coordination. There should be discussion. It shouldn't be an expectation that no matter what, you go over to someone's house or you have to entertain them. I think some space is needed, and I didn't really see how he could really set a lot of boundaries and tell his mother no. His own mother has as I stated, has a real big problem with boundaries. I've lost count on the number of times that she gave the ex-husband an allowance. Like she would force money into his pocket, and he would tell her, "Oh, hey mom, I got it. I don't need help paying any bills. I really don't want this money." But she would force money into his pocket. She would not leave and would not leave him alone about it until he accepted the money, which I just found really, really odd. So the second thing that you need to look out for or think over is times where it would seem that the narcissist had an overreaction. So let's just say you came into the house after work and you found the dishes piled up, everything's a mess, whatever. So you might have, something a little snappy to say about it. And the narcissist will get injured. They don't think they should be talked to a certain way. And they will then say, "Oh, well, you're just an F&B and you need to go out in the street and play with cars." That's really insensitive and rude and mean. You'll also find that they'll blow up if you question or challenge them. They'll get really uncomfortable at the idea that something that they believe to be true is being challenged on his face. And I found that the narcissist held some very strong beliefs that he got from his family, and I had to correct him many times and tell him, "Well, hey, I know this to be true based on A, B, and C. A, B, and C being facts, being researched and documented and put in print for people to learn about." So it blew my mind that he would show some resistance to accepting new information. Now, there's people that are really dense and set in their ways, but narcissists take this to a new level. It doesn't matter what you present to them, they will believe the opposite deep down inside, even though they might say, "Oh yeah, okay," they're just saying that to get by. They don't want to fight about it. They're trying to keep you on the hook in the initial stage of the relationship, so they're not going to be too disagreeable at first. They're just going to go along with it. But eventually, the longer you're with them, the more you'll find that they're very resistant to new ideas that challenge their previously held beliefs. So a third thing to look for is the manipulation of the silent treatment. And this will come up when you challenge them. And I must say that from my own experience with what I suspect is a covert narcissist, meaning that they present to be a nice, pleasant person. They have an image. I mean, all narcissists have that false image that they put out there, but they're really good at making their abuse subtle. They're not as overt. And they're not going to present as someone who's overly confident, like a lot of overs. Overs just, put it out there. Coverts have learned to hide behind their masks a little bit better and to maintain their images a little bit better. Well, I think better is not the right word, because there are different levels of narcissists I've learned, low, medium, high, and it all falls on a spectrum. But the covert narcs, they're going to generally use silent treatment and be passive aggressive. That's the key. That's what I'm trying to get at. The third thing to look out for is that constant passive aggressiveness. When you walk into the room and you sense some off-kilter negative energy, and you sense it's coming from this narcissist, so you ask them what's wrong, they say nothing, you know something's wrong, and that person will go around being kind of mopey or grumpy, or maybe whispering underneath their breath or muttering something. They will act like they're okay with whatever, but they're not. They're upset with you. They're upset at someone else, and whether it's you or someone else, they're going to take it out on you because you're their emotional punching bag. It's weird, but these narcissists will abuse the ones that they love the most. And I remember the narcissist having these really frank discussions with his parents. And going back to what I said about him not having boundaries, he couldn't really say no, and at the same time he would just dismiss his mother. And I'd be like, whoa, okay, I know your mother's being a little intense right here. However, because she gets really excited about things, especially things that she's bought and spent too much money on that might not be as valuable, but it means something to her, so whatever. And she'll tell, she'll tell the ex-husband something, and he'd say something to the effect of, Mom, yeah, that's dumb. Why'd you do that? There's a different way. There's a different way he could have phrased that. I just found that to be quite odd. He was, I think, verbally abusive to his mother, and they'll eventually be. Eventually, yes, they will be verbally abusive to you once the honeymoon stage is over and the devaluing has started. That's when you're on the way to the discard. And that brings me to, what is it, the fourth thing? I lost count. But the fourth thing is in regards to when they just chuck you away in the trash. You'll notice that the emotion has come out of their face. Doesn't matter if you cry, doesn't matter if you beg, nothing is going to face them. Your emotions are not going to matter to them, and they'll tell you so. They'll just stand right there and go, that really blank look. You'll see that blank look come up, and that's when it's over. When they're done with you, they're done with you, and they'll be ready to move on. So I hope this has helped someone. If you're in a relationship with one of these people, just know that it's not going to get better. There's no fixing them. If you have noticed these warning signs, and if you have also been the subject of escalating abuse, you need to go ahead and jump ship, make an exit plan. Might not be today, might be tomorrow, but it needs to be as soon as possible so you don't continue wasting your life with these energy vampires, these life suckers. All right. Okay, well, I'm going to go ahead and get ready to go get my oil change today. I'm very excited. It's been long overdue. I'll talk to you guys next time.